Hey YouTube. Well, looks like Siredblood is having his annual bloodbath tournament this weekend, and I got this new map, but I couldn't go to the tournament for a COVID reason or another. So um, yeah, no reason why I can't just play a game with my new map. So starting tomorrow, I got it all set up today, but tomorrow I'll be playing with a friend of mine who really likes Axis and Allies, but I've only been able to play Europe and Pacific individually, 1940 Europe and 1940 Pacific, as well as original Pacific and 1914 with him. So he has not played global. So this is going to be a interesting first game for him. We'll probably play pretty much all day tomorrow and the day after, more or less. In all the games, he has played Axis pretty much. Oh, he's played Anniversary too. That's right. But he's pretty much played, other than Anniversary, he's always played Axis. So this time he's going to take a stab at being the Allies, and I will be the Axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a not an out-of-box game per se, but we will be doing. We won't be playing the Bloodbath rule set. We will be playing out-of-box with my Moose Cow method additions, house rules, or expansions, as I like to call them. So we will be playing with the Spanish Civil War. We will be playing with the element of Vichy France and resistance if a country has their capital taken. France. They will be able to spawn more units through resistance if they are able to capture an enemy territory or liberate an enemy territory, an enemy controlled territory. We will be playing with a regional strict neutrals rule. So that means that South America is considered one region, and South America will not care if Saudi Arabia is attacked. That doesn't make any sense. So we're playing with, this is a region. Africa is a mixed region of sorts. I'll get to that in a second. Europe is a region. Western Europe, rather, is a region. And the Middle East with Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan is a region. Mongolia is its own thing unless it becomes a strict neutral, in which case it then jumps into whatever the situation is with these strict neutrals. So if the Axis invade here and then Russia violates the Mongolian rule, then that means then those would become pro-Allied. But if the Allies invade here and Russia breaks the Mongolian rule, then Mongolia would become pro-Axis. As for Africa, well, Africa is, anything remaining is our colonies. As you can see, we've added our Portugal roundels onto the colonies, and so these will flip with Portugal. So if Europe is invaded by the Allies, or if strict neutrals in Europe are invaded by the Allies, and Spain will be considered nationalist Spain will be considered a strict neutral if it is not at war. But if the Allies invade any of those, then the colonies would follow suit. But if the colonies are attacked, then only Portugal will jump in, because let's face it, Sweden isn't going to care about Portugal's colonies, but they might care about Europe, So if the Spanish colonies are attacked, then Spain and Portugal can come in, provided if Portugal and nationalist Spain only will have a special alliance. So if Spain is attacked before if nationalist Spain is attacked by the Allies before they decide to join the war, then that means that Portugal and its colonies will immediately become kind of like the Mongolian rule. they will immediately become Spanish units. Portugal had a fascist relations with Spain. It makes sense. They had a pact together after the war and such. So yes, but if they become Republican, that will not be the case. If Spain becomes Republican, if the Republicans win the Civil War, that will not be the case. What else? Yeah, so you can see I have my Vichy, the dice for the Vichy roll out there. I also have my homemade kamikaze dice. They're just white dice with red stickers on them. So not as fancy as Siredblood's wooden dice, but there's some little red stickers. Kind of be a little careful because I notice if you smudge them too much, the ink will come off, but that's okay right there. We may also play with Marines. I think that was a firework in the distance. We may also be playing with US being able to buy Marines, and we may play with the Japanese having Banzai markers. So, and therefore Banzai dice to correspond to them. So this is something I've come up with. Haven't play tested it. Maybe we'll give it a go. But essentially Japan, that would be me. I can then choose what territories will be ultra protected, so to speak. If I want to go here, if I want to go here, if I want to put one here. So at the beginning of the game, the idea is if we play with a full 10, they have to put at least half of them down at the start of the game. Right? They have to put half of them down in whatever land territory they decide they really want to protect, or rather they want the infantry to be able to really well protect. And what that means is if that territory is attacked, the first round of combat, the infantry get to roll these Banzai dice. Now these Banzai dice, there's a black and there's a red. Essentially, it kind of, even though it's at the beginning of the round of combat, it would go at the end, theoretically it would happen at the end of the battle, but for gameplay's sake, it happens the first round. That means each infantry gets to roll these Banzai dice the first round. And what that means is if they roll, let's see, that's 0. If they roll that, that's a 2. That's just one hit. But if the infantry doing their Banzai charge roll a red die, or sorry, a red or a 1, then that means they get 2 hits. So this, if they roll the 1 red, that would be 2 hits right there. So, and then on top of that, so there's 10. At most they can play 10. Put 10 of these on the board. Naturally, I think they would probably put one in Japan. But basically what that means is, so the Allies have to pick off these, and once they eliminate, they can't move them. Once they're on the territory, they stay there. But if the Allies knock off like 5 of them, if they knock off half of them, or maybe 2/3, then the rest of them go away because the Banzai charge has lost its effectiveness as the war has continued. So that would prevent the Allies from, or US, let's face it, from going straight for Japan. They would have to knock off and encourage more combat elsewhere in the Pacific before just beelining it to Japan. And then them having Marines also will help with taking over the islands and stuff. Something I've been wanting to do is trying to figure out more island fighting here rather than just the beeline for Japan, or the beeline down to help Australia or whatever. Anyway, just we'll change it up a little bit, you know. These are, of course, from Historical Board Gaming. These I got off eBay and got some stickers. Anyway, so I might be playing with that. What else? Yeah, I think that's going to be it, actually. So, yeah. So otherwise, we will be playing a game, a two-person game, over the course of probably 2 days, but at the very least, pretty much all day tomorrow. Yeah. So, this little pre-game announcement. And let's see. Going around. I just realized I left a transport off. All right, I'll add that on in a second. Oh, very important. We're playing with Turkey here, as you can see. And elaborating on our strict neutrals rule, with the regions, in terms of the regions, so Turkey, as you can see, is divided up, as there's also 2 more IPCs in there. And then we add Right now we're going to put 4 of the 8 infantry that Turkey would normally receive. We'll put 4 here, 3 here, and 1 here. And then if a strict region of a strict neutral is violated, so let's say Italy gets cocky, takes out Greece, and decides, hey, I'm going to beeline to Istanbul. And once you go into Istanbul, you can then either go on to Ankara or you can actually go straight into Syria. Now, if they do that, then the region gets a little bit of a lend-lease, let's say. So what we're going to do is we're going to add whatever territory is invaded first of a region. We're going to take probably Istanbul if they're going this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nothing. All right, so we got 6. We're then going to, so that's a value of 6 IPCs. We're going to take that IPCs and then double it, and the opposing side can place however many units of that value in the territory that's attacked. So they're not going to have to just take out 4 infantry. They're going to have to take out 4 infantry and either 2 tanks or maybe 8 infantry or what have you, but they're going to get 12 IPCs worth. In South America, because we're playing with Chile and Argentina being pro-Axis, not pro-Axis for the entirety of the game, but they will be pro-Axis. If National Spain can join the war, they will become pro-Axis at that point. Once Germany gets to 50 IPCs, or London's taken, or the Suez Canal and Gibraltar are taken. That's what we're doing right now, okay? So if that means that the only strict neutral that has any value left is Venezuela. So Venezuela, they'll be able to put a mech or an artillery somewhere, but Spain could invade Uruguay or Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, if they get over to this side or whatever. They can invade any of these strict neutrals and then just knock out that unit there. They don't have to go to Venezuela necessarily, but all these strict neutrals are wide open, So we have some House rule national objectives for nationalist Spain that can give them a lot of money for these territories only. For Spain only, these territories are worth nothing normally, but for Spain, they will each be worth, for nationalist Spain, if they want to, each of these will be worth 1 IPC. And if they manage to get cocky enough and go up here, these will each be worth 2 IPCs on top of whatever. Venezuela will also be worth any South American territory will be worth a IPC or an additional IPC for Spain, just for Spain. Nationalist Spain, not Republican Spain. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. And we're also playing with our Dutch house rule. So these guys, unless they don't join the war right away, they don't join the war right away, and Anzac and the UK can't take control of them until they're all at war. The 3 of them are all at war with Japan. Then they can take control of them. And if Japan gets there first before they do, then these infantry, there's 2 here, 1 plus Siredblood's airbase, they will each defend at a 1 unless they have allied land support, in which case they will then defend at a 2. They also don't move. This one infantry up in UK, the one Dutch infantry there, he's a little different. He will defend at a 2, and if Holland, Belgium is taken in a amphibious assault, even if there's not an available transport, he will be in non-combat. He will be jetted over there. So kind of like how France gets the automatic 12 IPC worth of units. That's because they don't have an economy, and we're not playing with them having an economy. That's what we're doing, so just to simulate that. So that's the Dutch government in exile. If they amphibious assault into Holland, Belgium, he comes over there too, and he also does not move for the rest of the game. Anyway, I think I covered everything. Kind of rambling a little bit. I do have a D20. I doubt we'll actually go 20 rounds, but I finally got a D20. It is metal, but it does not, must not be the right kind of metal to work with the magnets that I have here. Yes, this is my magnetized turn tracker. All right. Well, I'll get cracking on doing a few strategy plotting and all that on this beautiful new map we have. And yeah, so I'll get cracking, throwing down where I'm going to attack. Definitely here. Definitely there. And, corresponding all my other chips. I like to use these for signify what units are going to combat move, and I like to use these for what units are going to non-combat move. And sometimes I use the blue chips to as non-combat destinations, like for planes and stuff. And then, yeah. So I'll get cracking, and hopefully I'll resume tomorrow with another video and go from there. Take it easy, YouTube, and wish me luck. Hopefully I roll the dice better. Signing off.